Let me describe my family and myself a bit, so that you all can understand why I shared my family and my background. I am a boy from a very ordinary family. My father is a carpenter. We live hand to mouth. We are 3 siblings, 2 sisters and me. My father struggled to afford our education. I am the eldest son. I had just taken my SSC exams and got admitted to a polytechnic institute. I thought my dreams were slowly coming true. Now, I would take on some tutoring and stand by my father's side to help him a little. The year was 2021. My college was quite far from my home. From my village, only my friend Sajeeb and I studied at that college, while everyone else went to other colleges. Since the college was far, my father bought me an old bicycle so that I wouldn't have any transportation issues. Every day I would ride that bicycle to college. One day, while cycling to college, I saw my friend Sajeeb walking. I called out, "Hey Sajeeb, where are you going?" He said, "To college." I told him to hop on the bicycle so we could go together. As we rode, Sajeeb said, "Hasan, you and I are in the same class, studying the same subjects, and we live in the same village. Why don't we do something?" I asked, "What?" Sajeeb replied, "Starting tomorrow, let's ride the bicycle to college together." I said, "That sounds great. We can discuss studies and chat on the way." Sajeeb agreed, and from then on we started going to college together. Days passed like this. Then, one day, Sajeeb told me, "Hasan, I need to tell you something important." I asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" He said, "Hasan, I really like Riya." I asked, "Which Riya?" He said, "The one who is Arif Bhai's sister, Riya." I lowered my head and said, "Yeah, I know who you mean." I tried my best to make Sajeeb understand, but he wouldn't listen. Here's another thing, Riya's family wasn't exactly a good family. Who would know better than me? Because Riya was a very close relative of mine. No, that's not it well. Anyway, I also told Sajeeb, "Look, Sajeeb, Riya already has a boyfriend, and you know that too." But Sajeeb didn't care about anything I said. After a lot of convincing, he still didn't understand. Finally I said, "Do whatever your heart wants." And so, about a month passed. The real incident started from here. It was early 2022, during the peak of winter. That day, after classes and coaching, Sajeeb and I were returning home. It was almost Maghrib time, and the entire village was covered in thick white fog. Only Sajeeb and I were cycling. The fog and cold were so intense that we couldn't see anyone else on the road. We were very close to our homes when Sajeeb suddenly said, "Hasan, stop the bicycle." I stopped and asked, "What happened?" Let me describe the place where we stopped. It was called Tin Rastar Moor, 3-road junction. 3 roads met there. One led to our village, another to the city, and the third went toward farmland and another distant village called Bilpara. Sajeeb said, "The more we cycle toward the farmland, the more it feels like we're entering another world. All around us we could hear the howling of jackals and the chirping of crickets." He then said, "Give me the bicycle. You sit behind." Without asking anything, I sat behind him. Sajeeb started cycling fast toward the farmland. The further we went, the stranger it felt like we were entering some other realm. The sounds of jackals and crickets grew louder, and the freezing cold made it feel like we were moving toward an unknown world. I didn't understand where Sajeeb was taking me. After cycling for a long time, we entered a village. I asked, "Sajeeb, where have we come?" He replied, "We're in Bilpara village. You'll see why we're here." Sajeeb stopped the bicycle in front of a house and said, "Get down. We're going inside." We parked the bicycle and entered the house. The inside sent chills down my spine. The whole village was covered in fog, and in the freezing cold, a sliver of moonlight fell on the ground, creating an eerie atmosphere. The house had a huge tamarind tree in the courtyard, and 3 small huts. The moonlight and my phone's light revealed that the tamarind tree was not normal. It was wrapped in white, black, and red threads, and offerings of food were placed at its base. It seemed like the tree was worshipped daily. Inside, we saw a light in one of the huts. As we approached, Sajeeb called out, "Kada Kaka, are you there?" An old woman came out and asked, "Who are you? Why have you come?" Sajeeb replied, "Aunt, tell uncle that Sajeeb is here." I spoke to him on the phone. The old woman said, "Wait a bit." 2 minutes later, she returned with 2 glasses of water and said, "Drink this, but remember, don't say Bismillah before drinking and use your left hand." This angered me. I may not be the most devout, but not saying Bismillah and using the left hand? That's unacceptable. Ignoring her, I sat down, said Bismillah, and drank with my right hand. Sajeeb, however, followed her instructions. When I handed the glass back, the old woman stared at me with wide eyes. She then brought a bucket of water and said, "Wash your feet and enter the room with your left foot first." Again, I ignored her and entered with my right foot. Inside, the room had almost no furniture except for a cot. The entire room was draped in red cloth. An old man sat on the cot. I greeted him with salam, but his reply was something I had never heard before. It sounded strange. The old woman brought chairs for us. The old man then asked Sajeeb, "Did you bring what I asked for?" Sajeeb took out a note from his pocket and handed it to him. The old man examined it, then got up and took a bottle of water from a clay pot wrapped in red cloth. He muttered something over the water and blew on it. Then he said to Sajeeb, "Did you bring my payment?" Sajeeb handed him a 1,000 taka note. The old man took it and gave Sajeeb the water bottle. Sajeeb looked ecstatic, as if he had achieved something great. The old man said, "Listen, after sunset, sprinkle this water around your house." Sajeeb asked, "Will that complete the work?" The old man replied, "No, only 50% is done. The remaining 50% will happen later." Sajeeb's face darkened. The old man continued, "After the first task is done, bring me 3 things within a week: a piece of her used clothing, a few strands of her hair, and a piece of food she has eaten. If you don't bring these within a week, it will never work." Sajeeb assured him, "I'll bring everything within a week." The old man then said, "Your friend here is very clever. Too much cleverness isn't good." With that, he dismissed us, telling us to leave with our left foot first. Sajeeb obeyed, but I didn't. We took the bicycle and left. On the way back, I asked Sajeeb, "Who was that old man? Some kind of sorcerer? And why all these rules about left hand and left foot?" Sajeeb smiled and said, "Stop asking so many questions. You're my best friend, so I'll tell you everything. My family is in trouble, so my father sent me here. Don't tell anyone, not your parents, not anyone." I asked, "But why does he need her hair, clothes, and food?" Sajeeb stammered, "I don't know much about that." I didn't press further, but my mind was full of questions. We reached near our homes, and Sajeeb handed me the bicycle, saying, "Don't tell anyone." I assured him I wouldn't, and we parted ways. 6 or 7 days passed. One Saturday, after classes, Sajeeb said, "Hasan, we need to go to Bilpara again." I refused, but he begged until I agreed on the condition that I wouldn't enter the house. We cycled to Bilpara. The farmland stretched endlessly, and the narrow path felt eerie. When we reached the house, I told Sajeeb, "You go inside. I'll wait outside." As I waited, I noticed how primitive the house was. No electricity, no modern amenities, only the old couple lived there, with no neighbors nearby. The house stood at the edge of the village, beyond which was only marshland. Suddenly, Sajeeb tapped my shoulder. "Come inside, he's calling you," he said. I refused, but Sajeeb insisted, saying this was the last time. Reluctantly, I entered. This time, we were taken to a different hut near the tamarind tree. The old woman scolded me for not following rituals, drinking water without Bismillah and entering with the wrong foot. I argued, but Sajeeb calmed me down. Inside, the room was filled with the smell of incense and lit candles. The old man sat with his eyes closed. Sajeeb handed him a red cloth bag. The old man took out 3 things: some hair, a piece of clothing, and a half-eaten chicken fry. Seeing these, the old man screamed, "Who told you to bring these?" He then placed them in an earthen pot and said, "I'll finish something first. No matter what happens outside, don't leave this room." Before leaving, the old man asked Sajeeb, "You sprinkled the water the day after I gave it to you, right?" Sajeeb nodded. The old man grinned. "By the grace of Nazir, half the work is done. The rest will be completed soon." The old couple left, locking the door behind them. Suddenly, a violent storm erupted outside. The wind howled, and the door burst open. Through the gap, I saw the old couple worshipping a dark figure under the tamarind tree, surrounded by shadowy entities. Terrified, I confronted Sajeeb. "Where have you brought me? What is this?" Sajeeb was too scared to speak. After 15 to 20 minutes, the storm stopped. The old couple returned, smirking at my fear. The old man sat back and said, "Sajeeb, your work is done." He handed Sajeeb 2 amulets and instructed, "Wear these, one on your left hand, one on your waist, and tonight, don't wear any clothes." I was shocked. "Sajeeb, have you gone mad?" he snapped. "Shut up!" Before leaving, the old man told Sajeeb to take 2 threads, one red, one black, from the tamarind tree. As we approached the tree, I froze. There were sacrifices: a chicken, a quail, a baby pigeon, and a small snake, along with chicken heads and vermilion. I exclaimed, "This is black magic." Sajeeb laughed nervously. "No, Kada Kaka is a good man," the old man shouted from inside. "Hurry up and leave! It's late, and don't forget my money." We took the threads and amulets and left. On the way back, I questioned Sajeeb, who only said, "My family is in trouble." I didn't argue further. A week later, This is how another week passed. One day, Sajeeb and I were sitting in the college field when suddenly, Riya appeared in front of us. Sajeeb liked Riya a lot, but Riya was interested in another guy and couldn't stand Sajeeb. Since I was friends with Sajeeb, Riya would sometimes scold me. Anyway, seeing Riya, Sajeeb was stunned. Riya often borrowed notebooks from me, so I assumed she had come for that. Just as I was about to ask, "Riya, do you need something?" "Oh," she said, "Sajeeb, I need to talk to you. Come with me." As Sajeeb and Riya walked away together, Sajeeb turned his head, looked at me, and gave a slight smile. I knew then this was my last interaction with Sajeeb, our last conversation, our last moment together. Were you thinking Sajeeb had died? No, he didn't die. But from that day onward, Sajeeb and I never went to college together again. We never spoke. We barely even saw each other. Dear listeners, you must now understand why I said, bad company leads to ruin. From here I'll tell half the story, and the other half will be told by my cousin Rakib. Anyway, nearly a month passed without any communication between Sajeeb and me. I didn't even try to meet him. One day, as I sat in the college field, I thought, Sajeeb was my best friend. He would come to me in my troubles, and I would go to him in his. What happened that he doesn't even talk to me now? Just then, a classmate came up to me and said, "Hasan, have you heard?" I asked, "Heard what? What happened?" He replied, "Sajeeb and Riya are in a relationship now." I forced a smile and said, "People's hearts change in ways we can't predict." Anyway, after classes and coaching, I was returning home. If I remember correctly, it was Saturday, March 15th, 2022. As I neared the 3-road junction near my house, I saw someone signaling me to stop. I pulled my bicycle to a halt, and there stood the old man from Bilpara village. I greeted him with salam, but he didn't respond. Instead, he said, "Where's my money? No one has ever dared to cheat me out of my payment. You won't be the first. I only came to you myself, because I felt a little pity for you. I never beg from anyone. Give me my money and I'll leave." Hearing his nonsense, I got angry and said, "What kind of crazy talk is this? Why should I give you money? Why are you even saying this to me?" The old man insisted, "I don't know how, but my money is with you. I'm telling you clearly, give it to me." I replied, "I don't have any money of yours. Didn't Sajeeb pay you?" The old man became furious. "Are you two playing games with me?" he shouted. Then, he grabbed a fistful of my hair and yanked so hard I thought he would rip it all out. I pushed him away, calling him a madman. He staggered back, muttered something in a strange language, and left toward Bilpara. I touched my head and realized some hair had been torn out. I immediately headed to Sajeeb's house but didn't find him. Dear listeners, I knew that after this day my life would come to a standstill. A brief account of what happened to me. After returning home, I fell severely ill, so ill that I had to spend 3 months in the hospital. Even after that, I didn't recover. My family, already struggling financially, grew weaker. As you know, my father did small carpentry jobs. Since I wasn't improving, they brought me home. But then, a new problem arose. I started behaving insanely. I tried to hang myself, cut my hands and feet, and would attack anyone I saw. My father took me to a mental hospital. The doctor examined me and said, "He needs to stay here. His condition isn't good." My father, with tears in his eyes, agreed and left. We all know parents have high hopes for their eldest son. My parents were no different. Weeks turned into months at the mental hospital, yet I didn't improve. My father even sold our land for my treatment but never gave up. Eventually, the hospital discharged me because my condition was worsening. I stopped eating. The most painful part? I became paralyzed. The doctors said it was due to severe anemia and nerve damage. My muscles had withered away. One more thing I forgot to mention. Many spiritual healers, hujurs and kubirajes, tried to cure me, but none could. After being discharged, I lay in bed, counting the days until death. We did everything we could, but there came a point when we had to give up. Then, miraculously, hope appeared. There's a saying in Bengali, "Allah saves when all seems lost." Suddenly, a famous Islamic scholar visited our village for a waz mahfil, religious sermon. People whispered that he was a great alim who could solve impossible problems. Allah save. Hearing this, my father and I went to meet him. After the sermon, we spoke to him. He said, "I can't stay now. I have another sermon to attend." But after seeing our desperation, he agreed to visit me. The moment he entered our house, he exclaimed, This house has become a playground for evil spirits. Then, he entered my room, saw me, and shouted, Allahu Akbar! How is this boy still alive? Only Allah knows. My father asked, Huzur, what's wrong with my son? What the scholar said next left my parents in shock. He has been struck by the worst kind of black magic performed by an impure, high-ranking jinn. I can't treat him here. Bring him to my madrasa on Friday morning. We followed his instructions. At the madrasa, he drew a circle around me and gathered 15 scholars to perform ruqya, spiritual healing. From outside we heard violent struggles, screams, and chaos for nearly an hour. Finally, the scholar came out and said what we were not prepared to hear. I told you this is black magic of the worst kind. Ordinary people can't perform this. To summon this jinn, the sorcerer sacrificed his own 3 children. This jinn has unnatural powers. Others don't possess such abilities. It's a leader among jinns, and it kept returning because the jinns under that sorcerer were impure and naked. Others don't naked. Then he asked, Do you know why this was done to Hasan? He revealed, Hasan and his friend went to a sorcerer to cast black magic on a girl. The sorcerer agreed, demanding full payment only if the spell worked. When the friend refused to pay, claiming he had given the money to Hasan, the sorcerer took revenge by redirecting the curse onto Hasan. The scholar sighed and said, Alas, the cruelty of man. The story became much bigger than expected. Forgive me, dreams are small, but reality is vast. Hasan is now somewhat stable but will never walk again. I hope you all understand now why I said, bad company leads to ruin. Sajeeb and Riya got married a few months ago. Pray for them. I know Sajeeb ruined my life. Once again, Hasan says, I leave his judgment to Allah, and please pray for me.